This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hi there, hello, ho there. It's Jeff Cody. I'm welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And this birthday boy is Charles, Sir Charles Barkley. He's 58 years old today. He is one of the most famous basketball analysts of all time. He played in the league. One of the most dominant power forwards of all time. Sir Charles, the Mound, Rebound, and the Chuckster, they call him. 11-time All-Star, 11-time member of the All-NBA team, and actually won MVP in 1993. He was a good power forward for Auburn, alongside Chuck Person, being great Auburn alumni. He was drafted after his junior season by the Sixers with the 5th pick in the 84 NBA draft. The famous 84 draft that had Michael Jordan picked 3rd instead of number 1 by Portland, because Portland went for a center more than a guard. There were many reasons why Portland chose Bowie in front of MJ, mostly because they needed a center, because in the times in the late 70s and 80s, basically you needed a good center as a centerpiece, if you will. Pun not intended. Anyway. Okay, so we drafted 5th. Who was drafted 4th? Because I know off the top of my head, Sam Bowie went first from the University of Kentucky to Portland, and then Houston got Hakeem Olajuwon from the University of Houston, and then MJ went to Chicago. Okay, who went 4th? Sam Perkins went 4th. That was the guy who went number 4. The Mavericks got Sam Perkins from North Carolina. Wow. Gee, if they needed a... Oh, no, Sam Bowie was drafted 2nd. I thought Portland drafted 1st. Bowie, and then Hakeem Olajuwon. But Houston was going to keep him there. Yeah, there was like... No. Actually, Barkley almost... Indiana traded Portland that pick years ago. Cleveland almost got Sam Perkins. The Clippers would have got Charles Barkley if it wasn't for that deal. Let's see. Alvin Robertson was drafted 7th from my friend, Arkansas. Sweet. Otis Ford was drafted 9th. Kevin Willis was 11th. Michael Cage, Terrence Sandberg, John Stockton, Fern Fleming. Yeah, it was a good first round. There was even a Canadian who was drafted from the University of Victoria named Craig Wilcher, but I don't think he went to the majors. But anyway, Barkley was part of the all-rookie team in 85. In 87, he actually won the rebounding title, becoming one of the shortest players to win the rebounding title at 6'6". 6'6" is still very tall. He was the All-Star Game MVP in 91, and then in 93, he was the MVP. And was named one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. Yeah, right. Anyway, 2-time Olympic champion. Got into the Hall of Fame in 2006. Very popular. Unfortunately, with the fans and media, it made them all interview team. But unfortunately, he had a lot of problems off the court. He would stir controversy. When he spat out a young girl trying to spit out a heckler. And he basically said that sports figures should not be called role models. In 2000, when he retired, he was the 4th player in NBA history to have 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 4,000 assists. He said his successful career as an NBA analyst, and actually been a golfer that has a weird swing and all that, and people don't like that. So anyway, went to college and all that. Was picked 5th overall by Philly. He joined a veteran team that had Dr. J, Moses Malone, and Bo Cheeks. Basically, under Moses Malone's tutelage, Barkley managed his weight and actually did pretty good for himself. You know, he was named to the All-NBA second team in his 2nd season. That's pretty amazing. Barkley was made team leader when Moses Malone was traded to Washington before the 86 season. 87 season. And then Dr. J retired, so Barkley was now the face of the franchise. He had a celebrity status and all that. He looked pretty good, though. He actually ended up, in 1990, receiving more first-place votes in MVP voting than Magic Johnson, but not so fast. So basically, the Sixers didn't really do well in the playoffs and all that. Barkley actually wore number 32 with the Sixers in the 91-92 season to honor Magic Johnson. because of his HIV positive thing. However, the Sixers already retired 32 for Billy Cunningham, but they unretired it for him. And basically, Charles Barkley felt bad about making light of HIV and all that. So he did pretty well with his All-Star appearances. However, with Philly not making the playoffs too many times, Barkley basically wanted out. He almost went to the Lakers, but the Sixers retracted their deal. July 17th, 92, he was traded to Phoenix for Jeff Hornacek, Tim Perry, and Andrew Lane. He was basically a household name with Philadelphia and all that. Unfortunately, he got in trouble for a spitting incident against the Nets in 91. He tried to spit on a fan who was giving him racial slurs, but it hit a young girl. Barkley got a 1-game suspension for that. Barkley did say that he developed a friendship with the girl in the family, and he apologized. But the trade from Philly to Phoenix basically got Barkley in a whole lot of hurt. He got 25.6 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, and 5 assists per game, which was a career high. The Suns were 62-20. The best team in the NBA was Phoenix, and first ever team was MVP. He was the 3rd player ever to win MVP after the season after he got traded. And he got the Suns to the first NBA Finals in 17 years. Barkley said that it was destiny for the Suns to win the title, but the Bulls beat them in 6. Few can forget Game 3, that triple overtime match in Chicago. Dan Marley basically put the Suns on his back with his sharpshooting. And in Game 6, when the Suns had that 2-point lead, but then the ball was bounced around, and then Jordan passed it to Paxson for 3, and Paxson sunk the Suns. He had a lot of back pains and all that. Basically, injuries just took a toll on him. He almost retired because of injuries and all that, but he kept getting injured and all that. In 96, after the Suns were at 500, Barkley was traded to Houston for Sam Cassell, Robert Horry, Mark Bryant, and Chucky Brown. I'm surprised Houston would trade Horry and Cassell. I mean, geez, those 2 guys were good. Barkley excelled, earning All-NBA and All-Star honors in each of his 4 seasons with the Suns. Of course, he got in trouble for saying that athletes shouldn't be role models. That's true. I mean, I get where he's coming from. So basically, he was traded to Houston just to get an NBA title. And they had Hakeem and Clyde Drexler on the team. So basically, Barkley was supposed to help out and all that. But that 96-97 season was when they got to the conference finals and lost in Game 6 to a John Stockton 3-pointer, he was so wide open. And basically, the Jazz went to the NBA Finals and got taken out by the Bulls. But injuries were just basically getting on Barkley's nerves. And, he just couldn't do it. He decided to retire after the 2000 season. Barkley almost was part of the 84 Olympics team that went to Los Angeles. But he wasn't selected because of poor defense. However, he did compete in 93-96 when professionals were allowed and all that. He did pretty good for himself. He was a legacy for basically being controversially outspoken but domineering at the same time. So yeah, 1,073 games in the NBA, averaging 22 points, 11 rebounds, and almost 4 assists a game, if you will, in the regular season. The playoffs, 123 playoff games. He got to 1 finals. But that was a loss to MJ. He got 23 points a game. That's not bad. And 12.9 rebounds a game. He actually has some NBA records. Most offensive rebounds in a half, when he got 13 against the Knicks in the first half of their game in 1987. And most offensive rebounds in a quarter, 11. And the smallest player to lead the league in rebounds, 6'6". Playoffs records, most free throws in a half, 19 when he did against Seattle in the 93 conference finals. Most free throw attempts in a 7-game series. That was when his Sixers took on the Bucks in the conference semis in 86. And also the most turnovers in a 7-game series. But he's much known for his analysis work. And of course, butchering Giannis Antetokounmpo's name and Jonas Valanciunas' name. And so, yeah. But he was a massive gambler. He tried to go with politics and acting. Yes, he was in Space Jam. You know, it was funny that seeing Charles Barkley in Space Jam, and then basically he's praying to a church saying that if you get my talent back, I won't be so controversial ever again, and I'll be nice to referees. Speaking of referees, the 2007 NBA All-Star Weekend was in Las Vegas, and Charles Barkley decided to race Dick Buffetta, a veteran NBA official. And basically, you know, yeah, that's huge and all that. Barkley was part of a couple of video games. Well, Barkley Shut Up and Jam, which I kind of hated and all of that. So yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I want to play for you that the Barkley Buffetta race, because I want you to hear what he says in the pre-race about Buffetta.
Everybody.
Here we go. Hopefully.
Are you prepared for what lies ahead?
Well, I'm not sure what's going to happen tonight. I just hope I don't get hurt.
Oh, my goodness.
First and foremost.
Now he's talking, you know, hope he gets hurt.
I think Dick is being a little sensitive. I mean, he is 67 years old.
Oh,
I mean, I got nothing against old people. I want to be one day.
But maybe you shouldn't do this tonight.
I like that line. Well, Barkley somehow in some way beat Buffetta in that race. He actually was training, and he actually won that race. Barkley married a woman and had a daughter named Christiana, but that's his only child. So yeah. So Charles Barkley is an icon. Just for sometimes the wrong reasons. I mean, his golf swing sucks, but at least he has a golf swing. I don't. But anyway, controversial as he seems to be, he's still a legendary player. And that's all there is to it. I'm Jeff Diamond. Ado.